Hello, and welcome back to my channel for part 4. The last time I left you, we had discussed facial paralysis and the intense chemotherapy that followed after. If you're only jumping in now, this is the first video you're watching, please consider checking out parts 1 to 3. Today will be a hybrid video where I'll not only discuss my brush with cancer, but what's been happening in my life in general, as 2023 has been incredibly wild. We started off the year with a lot of hope, with the very positive chemo results giving us a fresh bill of health. We started considering our future again, and I decided that I'm going to get a degree. It's something I'd wanted to do for many years, but with what was going on, it always held me back a bit. So we enrolled at a university and we started studying, which I've basically finished my first year now, which I'm quite proud of. I've also grown a beard. You might have noticed from the pictures that I shared in the first few parts that I didn't have any facial hair. And the reason for that is from the radiation in 2017, it had actually burnt all the hair molecules, or whatever you want to call it, on my face. It was impossible for me to grow a beard. And if I would try, I would only grow hair on the left side, and the right side would be like completely clean. I've actually found an old picture for you, which you can look at. Look at that guy. So, yeah, we grew out the facial hair because for the first time in like 6 years, we can actually grow hair there again, which was pretty cool. The year started off quite rocky though when I lost my job. The company I'd been working for about 7 years had gone into liquidation quite suddenly, and we were all dropped quite hard back into the job market. So I was unemployed for about 6 weeks until an old friend of 20 years had contacted me and asked me to come on board in his business as a partner, which I was incredibly excited for at the time, but it turned out to be the biggest mistake of my life. Long story short, without getting into it, I am now unemployed again for about the last 4 months, and I am in serious financial troubles thanks to this guy. Anyway, while all of this was happening, we had gone for a checkup at our doctor, just a routine set of scans, and from the MRI and the CT scan, they could see that there was a node in my chest. Now, a node doesn't necessarily mean a tumor. A node is a word used for any unidentified object that is sitting inside your body, and they will only classify it as whatever it is after they can test it and biopsy it. So they said that they had found a node in my lungs, and it had grown bigger since the last scan. Now, it sounds scary, but it's not always a bad thing, because if you take one scan and you have two different people measure the size of the node, each of them can come up with a different size, which could cause an increase. So the increase in the size from the previous scan was so small that it didn't cause much concern. But because of my medical history and because I have a tendency of being in trouble with this topic in question, they did some research and they went and they pulled one of my chest scans from 18 months prior to that, from when I just finished chemo. And now when they compared the size of the node from that scan to the new scan, they could see that there was actually a fairly large increase. So the node is still under 1 millimeter, but the size increase now was cause for concern. So they contacted me again and they said, look, there is something in your chest. Can we take it out? I'm like, oh, are we going for a lung operation number 4 now? So I was currently sitting without work, and like I said, I now got all these bills and stuff I need to pay. So it was quite a difficult decision because my options were either have the surgery now and take it out, or wait a bit and see if it grows. I didn't want to wait because if I did find work, the last thing I wanted to do as a brand new employee is ask for 6 weeks off so that I could have surgery. So I had the surgery. I had it, and it's a good thing I did because I went through the whole experience again, major lung surgery, etc., etc. But when they biopsied it, they found out that it was cancerous. So that's why I say it's a good thing that I did have the surgery, because we at least got to remove it. But exact same as the previous surgeries, excruciating pain, like long recovery time, etc., etc. I covered that quite extensively in part two. So I really asked myself, like, why is this happening? Why does this keep happening to me? Because this is now my sixth operation in 6 years. And, it's not sustainable for the body. Like, if I'm, in 20 years' time, am I going to have had 26 surgeries? Like, no, that's not sustainable. So although surgery and recovery is probably my least favorite activity, it's nothing I can't handle. I've been through so much already. And the good news from the biopsy from this surgery was that they had gotten out all of the cancer and no further treatment was necessary. But it's not so much the return of the cancer that upset me, it's more what it would mean. Because I'd spent the last 18 months believing that the chemo had worked, that this chapter of my life was done, and I really started to consider having a future again. I started opening myself up to people. I started being comfortable with the idea of perhaps marrying and settling down, all things that I was very reserved about before because I didn't really know how much time and space was left to me. And now that it did return, it just reminded me that you're never certain on anything. And this might not be the last time either. I could go through many more stages and episodes. And that's okay because I've accepted the life that I have to walk and that I have a much different life to the regular person. But instead of closing myself up and blocking people out, this time I've decided to keep my walls down, to keep learning how to love new people and accept other people into my life. And it's a journey. I've had to do a lot of thinking lately about what type of a person I am and what type of a man I'd like to be. And I'd just like to thank everyone who's followed this video series because we're now completely up to date with where I sit today and what's gone on in my life. So that brings me to the end of this video series. I hope you guys very much enjoyed it. To all of those that have left very supportive, very kind words in the comments, I thank you so much. To the others that are suffering out there from something that have shared your story with me, it's all been very inspirational. I've enjoyed interacting with all of you a lot. So yeah, please keep reaching out to me if you feel the need to do so. I do intend to keep making videos even though this series is done. So make sure to subscribe and like the video. Help me get that algorithm up so that my videos can reach the people that it might help, because at the end of the day, that's why I'm really doing this, is to just create awareness and help those that need. So until the next video, until next time everyone, keep safe and thank you for watching. Bye bye.